On this week's Glanbia Ireland Dairy Focus Vodcast, we'll talk about the importance of getting herd certs returned, and we'll also see how to accurately record medicine use on farm. Firstly, we'll hear from Fionnuala Malone, our quality manager, on the importance of returning herd certs in the coming weeks.
Returning your Department of Ag health certificate at this side of the year, it seems like an extra bit of paperwork for you to do, but we actually really need it back. These certificates, in date, cover your licence to send us in milk for the year, and they guarantee to customers, both overseas and domestic, that animals are healthy and that the milk is only coming from healthy animals on farm. Department of Ag auditors and all our customer auditors regularly check that we have these on file for all suppliers, so it's really important to get them back to us. We need them back by December. If you can, please post them straight away to the milk office in Ballyraggett. If you've mislaid one or need a new one or need a second, if you've got a second herd number, please just ring your milk quality manager and we'll get one out to you as soon as possible. Thank you for your help.
Now we'll hear from Maria Scanlan, our Farm Sustainability Development Advisor, on how to accurately and correctly record medicines use on farm.
So for this part of the vodcast, we're going to discuss animal remedy usage recording. You know, we can clearly see, and from conversation with suppliers, the challenges and the difficulties that comes with recording medicine usages correctly. Unfortunately, it's not going to go away, regardless of your milk being tested routinely for the presence of antibiotics. It's still Irish and EU law that we maintain them correctly. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to go through the written form of correctly recording medicine usages, and we're going to use on the Board BA book, which you would all be familiar with. Okay, so this is your animal remedies usages Board BA book that you'll all be familiar with. So the section that we want to write our medicine usages in is this section here, and it will clearly say animal remedy usages records. This isn't to be confused with your purchase records. Your purchase records is what you have purchased and what's currently available in stock, but the minute you have used something on an animal, it goes in here in your usage records. So if you look to the left here, you're going to see a diagrammatic example of how to complete this record, and this is what I'm going to go through with you. Everything in blue here is a legal requirement. It's a legal requirement in Ireland and the remainder of the EU. The green section here is optional, however it is very handy. In the case of if you're giving an injectable to an animal, you can just take note of whether it's for lameness, pneumonia or mastitis. So this is the section here where you'll be recording your medicine usages. Okay, so for the purpose of this demo, I'm just going to be using the 1st of November just as a standard date for everything. The quantities administered, again, it's for demo use only. The quantities that will be used are going to be recommended by your vet on the prescription, or also it'll be documented on the recommended amount as per manufacturing guidelines that will be received with the products as well that you've purchased. So I'm going to start off with the injectables. I'm going to give you an example of what the common errors are and also how to correctly record them. So in the case of an injectable, if I start with an example, say for pen strip. So for here, I'm going the 1st of November 20. My remedy name, pen strip. Quantity, 100. Cow, just say 1, 2, 3, 4. Meat, 21. Milk, 48. Who gave it? We can say myself. And who prescribed it? My vet. So this is the common error we see with medicine recordings. The way this needs to be correctly recorded is the 1st of the 11/20, pen strip. So I can see here 100 mils, okay? Most often that's going to be given over a couple of days, be it 33 mil by 3 days or 25 mil by 4. So say for here we're doing 33 by 3 days. So for the quantity section, okay, it's the amount per head over what time frame. So 33 males by 3 days. Cow number 1, 2, 3, 4. So now for the withdrawal, since I've given that for 3 days, I need to add on my meat and my milk withdrawal from the last day that I give it. So if I give it on the 1st and I give it for 3 days, I give it the 1st, the 2nd and the 3rd. So I'm going to add it on from the last day that I treated the animal. So 21 onto the 3rd day is going to bring me to the 24th, the 11th, 20. And then my 2 days for the milk, so I gave it the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. So she's okay for the tank on the 5th. Again, I give it myself and just the name of your vet. So in relation to dosing, for this I'm going to use my dose as Albex. So we're going to use the same date again, so I'm going to come down here. So say on the 1st of the 11th, 20, I'm giving Albex. Okay, quite often we see 5 litres here because it's available in a 5 litre drum. So when you're dosing, if you're doing batch dosing, which is absolutely fine, all you have to do is to be able to distinguish the batches. So whether it's all cows, all calves, or all stock. So say for here, we're just going to say all cows. Okay, your meat withdrawal and Albex is 14 days. And your milk withdrawal is 60 hours. Again, who gave it and where you purchased it. So again, this is the incorrect way to do it. So the 1st of the 11th, 20, we gave Albex. So like up here, we need to record the quantity used per head. So say for cows, it might have been 60 ml each. All cows. Okay, I'm going to add my 14 days onto my meat, which is going to bring me up to the 15th of the 11th, 20. 60 hours, again, this is going to be like the pen strip, we just convert that into days. 60 hours is 2.5 days, so we're going to add on 3 days, and that will bring us then to the 4th of the 11th, 20. Again, who gave it, where purchased. Now, if you're dosing the likes of calves or male stock, again, milk is going to be non-applicable, so you just record your meat date and just put non-applicable here. In the case, if you are dosing your cows and they are dry, regardless of whether they're dry or not, you still legally need to record a meat and a milk date. So again, quantity per head is going to be 60 ml, not the quantity purchased or the quantity used. It's exactly what you use per each animal, meat and milk, whether they're dry or not, who gave it and where you purchased it from. So in relation then to vaccinations, okay, vaccinations have no withdrawal. Irrelevant, still has to be recorded. Anything injected or dosed into any animal needs to be recorded. So I'm going to use Covexin, which is used for blackleg here in this example. And again, I'm only using the 1st of November just as a demo date only. So we're using Covexin. Okay, it comes in a 50 ml bottle. Sometimes people pull in 50 ml, and it's going to be all calves. No withdrawal, or you can put NA or you can put 0. Who gave it? Myself. And where you purchased it, it can be your vet or some merchant. Okay, so the correct way to record it, again, 1st of the 11th, 20. Covexin. So again, it's going to be what each calf got or what each animal got at the vaccination. That's going to be 2 ml. It's going to be all calves. No withdrawal. Who gave it and where purchased. Sometimes we do see vaccinations and the likes of dosing up here. They're not really done in batches or groups. They can be done, say, periodically, depending on age and what's going on the farm. If you are doing batches, be it for dosing or be it for vaccination, okay, if you're doing 10 animals today, 10 at the weekend and another 10 next week, they have to go in as individual dates in here. So say for the 1st, the 11th, say you've done 10 calves, you will need to be able to identify the 10 calves that were done on the 1st to the 11th. If you went in a couple of days later on the 5th, again your Covex and your 2 meal each and the number of the calves there, it'll be the exact same in relation to dosing. If you've done 10 today, you put those 10 in. If you do 10 next week, you must be able to identify the 10 animals that were treated. So the last topic I'm going to cover is dry cow tube usage recording. So I have 2 examples here. Again, the top example is incorrectly recorded and this is the correctly recorded down here. So again, we have the 1st of the 11th 20, the name of our dry cow tube, and for this I've used Boviclox. Quantity given, again, needs to be 4 tubes per cow, not the total amount of tubes you used on the day. Up here, it's identified as 30 cows. These 30 cows need to be absolutely identifiable. So you have a choice here. You can either record your 30 cow numbers, be it in this box and the below box if you need space. But for this purpose here, I've actually noted C Farm Diary. A lot of suppliers have a day-to-day farm diary where they record all numbers and things and actions that have happened on the farm. So in the case of an audit, if you're going down this route to see farm diary, on the day of the audit, you're going to have to present that diary to show 30 cows that were treated. And this is going to be the same for every day or every date that you dry off your cows. They have to be identifiable. So again, your meat is 28 days, which will bring us up to the 29th of the 11th. And your milk withdrawal date is 45 plus 120 hours, which will bring you to 50 days, which is the 21st of the 12th. If your cow calves ahead of time and calves early, she still needs to be kept out of the tank for a minimum of 50 days. And again, who gave it and where you bought it. In the case we are using sealer only, there is no withdrawal on the sealer, but we would always hold strong on telling suppliers to record sealers as well. So you could just go in here the 1st to the 11th, whatever sealer you're using, 4 tubes, again identify the cow, and then you can just put a line or non-applicable through here for no withdrawal dates, who gave it and where you bought it. So ultimately, we hope this video has made it a lot easier and made you more confident in maintaining usages correctly. The most common errors that we find is in relation to quantities administered. Remember, it's always the quantity given per animal over how many days, and then in relation to your withdrawal dates, that you must record the date that the animal would hypothetically be good to go to the factory and the date that the animal is to go to the tank. And again, if you're given something over a couple of days, you add on the withdrawal from the last day that you give it and you write in the date in here. So hopefully that demonstration over the last couple of minutes has now made it easier for you to understand and how to correctly maintain your usages going forward. However, there is one really important point to remember. The onus is always on the herd owner to make sure any animal treated in the herd is recorded, regardless whether it's you yourself, the herd owner, your farm employee, or even your vet treats the animal on the farm. The onus still goes back to you, the herd owner, to make sure all remedy usages are recorded.
For more information on any of the topics covered in this week's Glanbia Ireland Dairy Focus Vodcast, contact your local Glanbia Ireland representative or log on to glanbiaconnect.com.